You have to keep posting. You have to keep putting yourself out there. You have to keep allowing the world to hear your voice, to hear your knowledge. Post 2 times, 3 times a day, because the world needs to hear this information that's coming from you. You are the control breaker, the chain snapper. You have the scissors that are something special. Your intelligence pierces into the ears, into the minds of many in the masses of the population. You must continuously, no matter if you think you are doing too much, that is an excuse used that'll keep you from being who you need to be in that exact given moment. Especially if you have just now started. The world doesn't take a day off of trying to keep people plugged in, trying to keep people being a different version of their true selves. They don't have the knowledge and identification how to be themselves. They don't think that information is even accurate of how one can gain access to a whole different perspective that they are used to being their entire lives. But you have the key. You have the direction. You have the activation to show somebody how to activate their higher selves. In the new movie Spider-Man, they was trying to tell you that Spider-Man was going through a situation with his body. He was evolving. In the midst of going through an evolution within yourself, it's the same process of awakening. It's the same process of the caterpillar in the cocoon. And now he begins to bust out of this cocoon. He was busting out of his cocoon, and he was finding that he had more of himself that he didn't know exists. He had more of himself that had more strengths, more accuracy, more connection with spirituality. And in the midst of all that, a darker side rose up within himself. Darker side got stronger. Darker side got intelligent. As much as he evolved, as much as he got stronger, the darker side of himself grew with him. He was terrified of it. He didn't want to face the darker side of himself, so he kept trying to shut out his darker side of himself, which made the process even worse. The darker side of yourself is the evolution process that one must go through in order to fully come out of the cocoon. You see, the butterfly is a balance between light and dark what's inside of the human race. That's what the butterfly represents. How beautiful it is, balancing between the two. How devastating it is of battling your shadow self. Getting to know your shadow self. Inside of the cocoon is the battle of the shadow self. Of putting your defense systems down and allowing for yourself to emerge is better said than being done. The challenge of going through the battle of the shadow side is legendary. Oh, that is a battle that nobody has experienced unless you have gone through the spiritual awakening. To peep into secrets inside of yourself, corners, alleys, inside garbage cans. There's always something there that needs to be seen, that needs to be felt, that needs to be dealt with while you're inside of the cocoon. The emerging process is powerful. Ones can gain the access and balance between the two sides of themselves as a phenomenon individual. Extremely powerful individual. It is an individual that they are keeping away from the masses, the identification to the real self inside of the masses, the light and dark self. They keep knowledge from the masses on purpose so you don't have the information that you need, the techniques that you need to evolve yourself into who you truly are. Inside this movie here, looking at it, studying it, the so-called villain had the skill set to jump from person to person, to hijack consciousness, to completely take over a human being without the human being even knowing it. Is another skill tactic that is being utilized by the world we are living in. If a person does not know themselves, if a person does not have the knowledge of themselves, does not know the ins and outs about him or herself, you can be utilized to do things against your will, as we can see every day in this world we are living in. Your shadow side can be utilized to attack, to penetrate, to harm, to cause chaos and destruction, because you don't know that you have two sides of yourself. The world doesn't teach you that you have two sides to yourself. The world doesn't teach you about the knowledge of the universe, about the truth of the Creator. They only teaches you fractions of how to remain powerless. The system is set up and designed to keep you from powerless. You are built and designed and made up in this system, not being in power. But by you not being in power, you empower in the system. As long as you stay out of power, the system stays in power. You are built by the ultimate power of the universe. The universe recognizes power. There's a lot of people in this world that has not taken back their power. So the universe is not recognizing that power. It only responds to power. It only responds to individuals that's standing in power. It's not responding to individuals that's begging, that's praying, that's honoring deities outside of themselves. The universe is not going to respond to that. The universe is designed to respond to power. That you are that power, that you are seeking, that you are begging, that you are asking. You are all of the tools in the garage that you need. You got everything in there, but you still got the garage sealed and locked. You forgot the codes of how to unlock that garage. And that's why you got messages and prophets that come in that has the codes of how to unlock the garage of yourself, so that you can step back into your power and become the ultimate power. Because the power that you are seeking is lying inside of you, waiting for you to take back command of your physical being and allow for you and the Creator to reunite together to fulfill a mission that you was built to experience in your physical life, but you are being held back because you were trained to look elsewhere besides of where the real power lies. The human being, the ultimate intelligence, it must find itself. Enjoy the rest of your day.